The average bug-out bag weighs 19 kilograms. Most of it is dead weight. During the 1998 Eastern Ontario ice storm, rescue crews found survivors using garbage bags. Not Gore-Tex shells. Not $400 bivvies. Garbage bags. The gear that saves your life doesn't come from a catalog. It comes from understanding failure. Wilderness rescue data tells one story consistently. People die carrying the wrong things. This video covers 17 items, most under $20, that outperform gear at 5 times the cost. Every item is field-tested and cold that kills. If your bag doesn't hold these, it's a liability, not a lifeline. Item 1. Sawyer Mini water filter. 60 grams. That's it. While most people stuff a bulky pump filter into their pack, this inline unit filters 378,000 liters before replacement. You thread it onto any standard bottle or hang it from a hydration bladder. No pumping. No moving parts to freeze and crack. You'll find it under $40 at MEC or Canadian Tire. Pump filters weigh 4 to 5 times more and process a fraction of the volume before the cartridge dies. Ounces kill momentum. This earns every gram. Item 2. Emergency Bivvy. Your core temperature drops below 33 degrees Celsius, and you've got roughly 3 hours before your organs start shutting down. That's not a guess. That's a medical timeline. A mylar blanket shreds in the first gust of wind. The SOL Bivvy reflects 90% of your body heat back to you in a sealed, wind-resistant shell weighing under 115 grams. That you climb inside, you trap warmth, you survive the night. A blanket is a suggestion. A bivvy is a commitment. Item 3. Bic lighter and a ferro rod. You carry both. Always. The Bic gives you instant flame. The ferro rod works soaking wet and at any altitude. If one fails, the other covers. This is redundancy doctrine. Every survival school teaches it. Fire is a system, not a tool. Item 4. Morakniv Companion. Fixed blade knife. Full tang. $20 at Canadian Tire. You can baton hardwood with this blade all day and the handle won't split because there's no folding hinge to fail. A folding knife is fine for opening packages. Try building a shelter with one. Try splitting kindling in -30 Celsius with numb hands trying to lock a liner mechanism. A folder is a convenience. A fixed blade is a commitment. Item 5. 15 meters of paracord. 550 pounds of tensile strength. You rig shelters with it. You lash gear. You set snare lines. Pull the inner strands apart and you've got fishing line and sewing thread. 50 feet solves 100 problems. Item 6. Trauma-focused first aid kit. Forget the drugstore kit packed with adhesive bandages and alcohol swabs. Traumatic bleeding is the #1 preventable cause of backcountry death. You need an Israeli bandage. You need quick clot gauze. You need a tourniquet. These stop arterial bleeds. Your kit should stop dying, not treat discomfort. Item 7. Datrex emergency ration bars. 2,400 calories per sealed brick. Rated from -40 to +60 Celsius. 5-year shelf life. Your granola bars freeze rock solid by November and crumble into dust in your pack. While these don't. You crack the vacuum seal and eat. No preparation. No water needed. Calories that survive what you survive. Item 8. Headlamp with red light mode. Your eyes need 30 minutes to develop full night vision. One blast of white light resets the clock completely. Red light preserves your adaptation while keeping both hands free. A handheld flashlight occupies a hand you need for tasks. You clip the headlamp on, switch to red, and you work, walk, and navigate without losing your night eyes. Red light keeps your eyes in the fight. Item 9. Stainless steel single wall bottle. $15 at Canadian Tire. You fill it at a stream and set it directly over open flame to boil. Try that with a plastic Nalgene. Your filter is your first line of water purification. Fire and steel are your second. If your filter clogs, cracks, or freezes, you boil. Plastic carries water. Steel makes it safe. Item 10. Unlubricated condoms. 2 liters of water in an expandable membrane that weighs essentially nothing. Military survival schools have documented this method for decades. You'll find them at any Shoppers Drug Mart. They pack flat, carry inside a sock for puncture protection, and replace rigid containers that waste space. Laugh now, drink later. Item 11. And this is the one most people dismiss entirely. Orange Contractor Garbage Bag. During the 1998 ice storm, 1.4 million people across Quebec and eastern Ontario lost power. Some went without for over 4 weeks. Temperatures plunged. Roads became impassable. Emergency services were overwhelmed for days before reaching isolated communities. Among the most common life-saving adaptations documented by rescue crews were improvised garbage bag shelters. People cut armholes and wore them as rain ponchos. They used them as ground sheets to insulate against frozen earth. They stretched them into solar stills for water collection, and the orange color served as a signal panel visible to search aircraft. A black bag disappears against terrain. Orange screams location. You're carrying a rain shell, a ground tarp, a vapor barrier, a water collector, and a rescue signal for under $2. The cheapest item in your bag might be the one that saves your life. Item 12. Tampons. Forget the internet myth about packing wounds. That doesn't work. What does work is this: sterile cotton that catches a spark from a ferro rod and ignites even in driving rain. Remember the ferro rod from item 3? This is its companion. Backcountry guides carry these as tinder. Under $4 at Dollarama, forget the myth. Light the cotton. Item 13. Superglue, cyanoacrylate. Chemically near identical to medical-grade tissue adhesive. Field medics used this method during the Vietnam War when sutures weren't available. You clean the wound, pinch the edges together, and seal. No needle. No training beyond basic wound hygiene. A dollar store tube closes what a hospital charges hundreds for. Item 14. Duct tape wrapped around a pencil stub. You don't carry a full roll. You wrap 20 to 30 turns around a pencil and drop it in your pocket. Smaller than a hockey puck. You patch torn shelters. You close blisters before they shred your feet on a 30-kilometer march. Now you make butterfly closures for cuts. You repair cracked gear, wrap it tight, pack it small, fix everything. Item 15. A M/FM crank radio. During the 2021 British Columbia atmospheric river flooding, entire communities lost cell coverage for days. Towers went down. Internet failed. People with dead phones had no way to receive evacuation orders. People with crank radios still picked up emergency broadcasts through the Alert Ready system on AM and FM frequencies. No batteries, no charging, no towers required. When towers fall, frequencies remain. Item 16. Dental floss. 50 meters of 25-pound test line from Shoppers Drug Mart for under $3. You fish with it. You stitch torn gear. You rig small snares. Dedicated survival cord costs 10 times more for the same capability in fine-line tasks. It's a fraction of the weight and cost of Paracord for applications where you don't need 550 pounds of tensile strength. The lightest line in your bag pulls the hardest weight. Item 17. Printed topographic map and baseplate compass. During the 2003 Northeast blackout, every GPS unit, every phone, every digital navigation system across Ontario went dark simultaneously. 55 million people lost power. Paper doesn't need a satellite. A baseplate compass doesn't need a signal. You learn the basics of triangulation in an afternoon. You practice twice. You never forget. Paper doesn't crash. Compasses don't need a signal. Here's what you're looking at. 17 items. Total cost under $250. Total weight under 3 kilograms. Every piece sourced from Canadian Tire, MEC, at Shoppers Drug Mart, or Dollarama. Every piece tested against conditions that actually kill people in this country. Compare that to the $1,000 tactical packs stuffed with gear that fails at -20. You're not building a collection. You're building a system. Systems, not stuff. That's the difference between someone who survives and someone who just spent money. Your bag should answer 3 questions. Can you stay warm? Can you drink clean water? Can you be found? If it answers all 3 for under $250 and fits in a day pack, you've beaten 90% of the kits out there. You're not a hoarder. You're an engineer of your own survival. Drop your province below. I'll tell you which 3 items should be your top priority based on your climate zone.